So I thought I'd try something a little bit different today, and I thought I'd actually film it from my living room rather than filming a voiceover over the top, which sounds to me like a little bit like a robot. Even though no one's criticised me yet, but obviously the channel has been so small, I'm sure I'll get criticised in the future of previous videos, which I'm not going to re-edit, they're just going to stay the way they are. So this match is at Manor Farm. It's only a 13 pegger, so it's not like it's a massive match that's glory hunting or anything like that. It's just all about what fishing is, catching a few fish, having a bit of banter with your mates. So I've drawn peg 25, which is one of the best pegs on the lake. It's not necessarily always the best peg, depending on wind and stuff. So sometimes the end pegs will dominate on middle. Pegs 19, 16 and 14 or 12 have been very good, but that will change because the weather's going to change. I think what will happen is the fish will move up to like 27, 25 where I am, 29 even, for that sort of area. Then too, obviously, they can be good pegs. So let's talk about this match. So I feel like I've gone off a bit of a tangent. So I started off by feeding 10 4 mils of the seafood pellet mix. Basically what I do is I just like fill the bag up with water before I set off to go fishing. So in the morning, so say like, you know, I filled this up at 6:30 yesterday morning, just with tap water, nothing special, just filled it right up. And then the match started at 10 o'clock, and then pellets are lovely. Don't have to babysit them, don't have to soak them or drain them or anything like that. But as in soak them, take the water straight off, just leave the water. They swell up really nice, and you can almost actually hook them, to be honest. If you're very careful, you could actually use them as hook pellets, which I'm definitely going to be doing in the winter. So just feeding 10 4 soft pellets to kick off the peg, and then I just used a bit of seafood expander mix over the top. So nothing special, 020 rig, 2 number 8 shot, slightly undershot so the pace then causes the flow, so then you know when it's come off. That just didn't happen. Probably the first 10 minutes, I had a couple of like weird sort of bites, just prick one. The fish were coming in a little bit gingerly, pardon the pun, me being ginger. I just didn't feel maybe it was right, and also because there's loads of skimmers and F1s in the lake, I sort of felt maybe this was wrong, that fishing 020, because obviously everything's on the change now. The seasons are changing, the colour's dropped out, the sort of like algae sort of died, it's gone sort of a bit of a brown colour. So we were all a little bit concerned how it's going to fish, and obviously we've gone from like, was it last week, it was all like 20 degrees even in the evenings, now all of a sudden it's like half, it's gone down to like 8-9 degrees in the evenings and maybe sort of 15-17 degrees during the day. So obviously it's autumn's coming. So therefore just a little bit concerned with pace work, so therefore I dropped onto a lighter rig. And as you can see by watching the video now, I'm struggling a little bit with this carp. So I knew it wouldn't be a race. I thought maybe 140ish was going to win it. That wasn't right. It was 121, which is Neil McKinnon on peg 8, so fair play to him. So just steady Eddie, like, you know, you think if the carp are averaging 8 to 12 pound on middle pool, you don't need a lot of fish, do you? You know, what you need? 10 fish and you're going to be there or thereabouts. So 5-hour match, 2 fish an hour, that's how you got to see it in my opinion. So I just took my time, just fed a tiny bit of bait like by hand now, so just some of them 4 mils, just so it's getting it ready for when I net this fish. Hopefully I'll be able to line up another one. Kit wise with this lighter rig was 020 mainline to an 014 hook length, XS, is it XS? Yeah, a Guru XS hook, which was a size 12. Nice light hook, but still very strong, good point, so fair play, Guru has made a good hook there. And then just used a 2.3 triacore elastic just through, obviously through the whole of the top kit. I mean, short kits probably be great in the summer or if we really bag in, but the thing is, as you can see, the fish do kite off really fast, so I worry if you only put the elastic through just a short kit, you run the risk of the hook pull, breakage by the line or top kit or pole or even, so I'll be a little bit careful, just going a little bit crazy. I feel a lot of anglers have gone top kit mad trying to do all these massive weights. Don't get me wrong, they've definitely got their place in fishing, but with this is not a race. You know, if you caught 4 or 5 fish an hour on middle, these big ones, you're going to catch 200 pound. So you know, I don't think you need to go crazy feeding loads of bait, and just you know, like I say, just been steady Eddie really. So obviously at this point in the match, I wasn't sure if paste was the right bait. So I know I'm a bit of a paste head, but I have learned the hard way, it's not always the way to go. So looking around the lake, Nicky Dean was catching a few short on meat, but he also was suffering like odd missed bite, and then like spooking carp, booking carp, and they're pulling out. So these carp were coming in a little bit coy. So obviously they weren't keen on sort of like, I don't know, they sort of come into the bait but just almost know there's like danger. So they were quite difficult to catch. I pinged quite a bit of bait, well not quite a bit of bait, just pinged some 6mm. I didn't soak them just to make a bit of noise, because I figured I would go pellets potentially shallow, or pellets like using a 0 rig with no shot down the line, catch through the water. And I also had another pellet rig that was kitted out like a normal pellet rig, which was like 0.3 gram, nice sort of like strung out sort of style shot and pattern, and I figured they would be good all fishing our pellets. Well, that didn't happen. You ping pellets across and there was a little bit of blows, and you just didn't get a bite. So Eureka, let's fish paste, and obviously that did actually work. A bit frustrated fishing 14.5 metres with pace, which you'll see in a sec when the video goes a bit further. And the wind did get up, which made it a bit more difficult to fish. So with that, you're better off fishing a much sort of like long, sort of stable sort of float like that. So you've got a glass stem, a body on it, and then obviously a nice long cane bristle. And I just shot that as you normally would with any float, so I don't undershot this to get the pace to cock it, because you're fishing so far out, and obviously it's just going to be really difficult to try and fish the pace that way. So when you fish short, obviously fish an undershotted rig, which I'd use a slim body like that. These are all John Walker floats, and then I'd undershot it, so like literally about two number 8 to take it to about there, and obviously the pace would cock it right down, and then you would know. And obviously when your baits come off, I can't fish that way 14.5 metres with pace, so if anyone can, then fair play, they're exceptionally good. The match just ticked over, it was decent, ended up £94, come third, won my little section of 5, so got a few pennies to, you know, go out for a meal with the boys afterwards, so that was alright. If I was going to fish it again, I definitely would be looking to fish a bit more sort of meat, to be honest. I think meat's going to be the future there. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up.
Thank you.